We're going to have a break first before I'm on, right, Jimmy? Okay.
Dream is really budding in the Palouse now. The biggest non-Apple Cup game at Martin Stadium maybe ever. 4 unbeatens have gone down. The Washington State Dream finds Oregon and kickoff in a minute.
The yellow one is Pikachu. He's a Pokemon.
Yeah, who is Digimon?
Thanks. Digimon is like a different group, wholly separate from the Pokemons.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Sure. Actually, Digimon means digital monsters.
Like a lot of organizations, ESPN was having trouble with their carpet.
Ow! Ow!
So they had me install a more natural surface. This grass we install is the best. It's a good Bermuda.
No hot water on that, okay?
Yeah, that'll set the sting.
It lays down very, very pretty.
Still to come on SportsCenter the rest of the night in the NBA.
Wherever you are, I mean, there's nothing more beautiful than grass.
How much time do we have?
College Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Saturday mornings at 10:30 on ESPN.
He's a field goal kicker. What's so amazing about a field goal? It's 63 yards under pressure.
Under pressure? Pressure? I never said more than 5 words to a field goal kicker in my life.
Like, go get me some water.
And hurry.
Guys, look, I got $40. Says none of y'all can hit from half that distance.
You got it.
I'll take that. It's a bet.
Guys, believe you're up.
Pretty far.
Undefeated teams in the Pac-10 have. 2 Saturdays ago, 2 of the 5 teams fell from the Pac-10 perch in Washington and Stanford. Last week it was Oregon. A moment ago, UCLA on the farm, and there stands Washington State, undefeated, atop the conference. But as you see, if Oregon wins, we'll have 5 one-loss teams in the Pac-10. Hi, everyone. Mike Tirico with former UCLA quarterback David Norrie. Let's talk about the 4 unbeatens nationally losing. Washington State, one of 4 perfect teams left now, David.
They are, and with the strength of schedule left, remember they've got a game against UCLA, they've got a game against Washington. With the losses that have gone on in front of them, they could jump up into the top 5 in the BCS standings if they win against a caliber team like the Oregon Ducks. So it's almost unheard of Washington State talking about a national title, but it's in their grasp if they can come up with some big wins down the stretch.
2 gutty quarterbacks, high-scoring offenses. Let's start with Jason Gesser.
Well, Jason Gesser's a perfect quarterback for the spread offense. He makes great decisions at the line of scrimmage, very talented throwing arm, 19 touchdown passes on the season, but with his feet, he can really hurt you, making plays, getting outside, throwing the ball on the run, and picking up yards down the field.
Joey Harrington and Oregon have to bounce back from a loss at home. They haven't had to do that since '97.
No, and it was a devastating loss. Special teams last week for the Ducks might have cost them a chance at the national title. Joey Harrington has to get things back on track. Probably the most exciting quarterback to watch in the country. If they can roll things out, win, run their course, get wins down the stretch, they're still in a position to play in one of the BCS berth games. So a big game tonight for Oregon as well.
There you see the head coaches, Mike Bellotti and Mike Price. Bellotti age 50, Price the dean of Pacific 10 coaches. And what do you think each coach, David, would like to see in the early going of this game?
Well, I think both coaches want to really establish a run game. Obviously, they've got talented quarterbacks. They've got passing offenses that can put up big numbers. But the teams that make plays on defense here tonight, the team that makes the plays on defense and the team that can get running game going, I think they're going to have the advantage.
11-6, his 265 yards per game leads the Pac-10. This is the #1 passing offense in the league. Gesser, a Hawaiian, to one of the best high schools in Honolulu, St. Louis, where it was undefeated. Position players. What great receivers. Nicola McElrath and Colin Henderson, James Price, the tight end Thielbar, and then the one player not there, Mike Bush, who is such a devastating, game-breaking player. 2nd and 7. Gesser's first look was covered. He'll keep it and get the first down across the 40 and to the 41. David Moretti made the tackle. Here is the battle in the trenches. An offensive line for Washington State. Important player to watch is 69, Philip Locker. He's in for the injured Joey Hollenbeck, who will not play. Parrish, Hunt, Roach, and Armstrong with him. The defensive front, little wrinkle for Oregon with Zach Frater dinged up by a concussion. You may not see as much per game. Here's the back 7, Mitchell, Moretti, and Mallard. The 3Ms are the tape. They need to keep this together for Oregon, up front especially, because behind them it's pretty good. Rashard Bowman is short. He's 5'8", and you folks in the Pac-10 know. Stanford went right at him with Teo Johnson. Washington State's going to try the same today. Keith Lewis is back in the lineup after missing the last game because of a left ankle sprain. Gesser's been pressured here in this first drive. The ball did not cross the line of scrimmage. And our referee is checking with the linesman to make sure of that. And that is correct.
Out of the pocket, you get beyond the line of scrimmage, no flag.
Looking at Pontiac Game Solutions here, David.
Looking at the game solutions, Washington State wants to make Joey Harrington move. They've got to get him out of his rhythm.
That will be free.
Spot of the foul, loss of down.
Needing to get across midfield to keep the first drive alive. More heat on Gesser from the corner. Smith almost had him, but finally the sack comes all the way back at the 11. Darrell Wright ends up getting the job done, his 2nd sack of the season. But the
coming off that game last week against Stanford, a lot of run yards racked up by the Cardinal. And the key today for the Oregon defense is you see the pressure. Darrell Wright, the talented defensive end, the key.
Joey Harrington and the Ducks, 20-3 as a starter. His first start 2 years ago came against Washington State. His team is 4th in scoring, 10th nationally in scoring, 4th in this league. It tells you that among the high-powered offenses in the Pac-10, Oregon is, as expected, one of the best.
And just like Washington State, this Oregon offense thrives on their ability to run and pass the football.
The offense with Harrington. Mo Morris averaging 85 yards a game. Ontario Smith will spell him. And he's 7th in the league in running yards per game. Line the blocker. Justin Peels caught 8 touchdowns this year. Then you have Willis and Howry wheezing for the Ducks. 2nd and 10. First run of the game is Maurice Morris. A couple of tight ends blocked for him, and Morris with a pretty good game. Here is the offensive front. Banged up group, Adams and Schmidt especially, but when they need yards, watch the left side, 71 and 67. Here's who they go up against, a defense that leads the conference in rushing. Those defensive ends come off the field in passing situations. And the yard with 2 tights and 1 back. Harrington in the drizzle, gets a first down across midfield, and Lamont Thompson takes him down.
Now, Oregon has to turn the page. They have to get over the loss a week ago. Devastating loss. They too had national championship aspirations, but they still have BCS possibilities for this Duck defense.
Mars first down, run, big hole. Oh, the fullback Josh Line just got into the 2nd level and gave him a lot of room. There's the rest of the defensive front. Number 12, Ira Davis, is maybe the most important linebacker tonight. His job to slow down Justin Peele, the very good tight end. These guys have had interceptions all year, 15 of them. Coleman, Newman, and Thompson have 3 apiece, and 1 for the sophomore Jason David. 2nd and 10 pass to Willis. Got a nice block from Keenan Howry to allow him to get out to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 6. 3rd and 4 coming after the Billy Newman tackle from the strong safety spot.
Gave this Washington State defense some problems a weekend ago.
5 receivers, even though one's a tight end, one's a back. The pass is incomplete, intended for Jason Willis, coming back towards the ball.
The coaches definitely confirmed that.
Into the wind. It will be a pooch punt and go out of bounds, and the ball will be spotted somewhere around the 18-yard line. Actually, a little bit higher than that.
It's UCLA coming up.
1st and 10 from the 25. Harrington, nice ball fake. A pass underneath to the tight end, George Reichster, hurdling the would-be tackler and taking it out to the 43-yard line. Billy Newman played hurdle in a track meet. Joey Heisman, that was the talk preseason. He's been solid this year, as you saw. 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Morris is getting to the line of scrimmage undeterred, but a lot of Cougars waiting for him there. Led by James Price, the weak side backer from Anchorage, Alaska. Came out of the backfield. He's a receiver on the right side. Harrington goes that way, and that may be and is a yard. Well, it should have been a yard shy of the first down. That, if it's up where that lineman is a horrible spot.
3 interceptions, 12 tackles, and really arrived as a freshman. Missed all of last year with a mysterious neck injury.
Run for Morris. We waited for the block from Justin Peel and has the first down at the 31.
Credit Joey Harrington deserves credit as well.
3rd and 10, they bring pressure. Harrington stood in there. It was tipped as he threw it and incomplete. Billy Newman helping to bring the heat. Coleman back with the coverage. It all worked for the Cougar D. And Washington State, obviously with the destiny in its own hands. 4 remaining games, including today. UCLA coming to the Palouse next week, and the opportunity to be the team out of the Pac-10. Gesser first down, slipped and fell as he was loading up for a deep pass. Had 2 receivers going long, and they slipped on this field turf. 4 receivers for 2nd and 21. And Gesser runs Minnick. Dave Minnick out to the 25. He got up earlier today. Blitz coming again. Gesser's pass complete for a first down to the 34-yard line. Easy pitch and catch.
Up into the top 5 in the BCS standings.
See what the man does here. 3rd and 14. Good coverage downfield. Nobody to throw to. Gesser takes off. Taken out at the 38. It's going to be about 7 short of a first down. 4 of the top 12 in the country. 4 of the top 8 in the BCS knocked off. Maurice Morris. Little option, 6 yards as Price and Thompson are over there to make the play.
Catching the throwback. Big win against Oklahoma.
20-10 in the first of our Saturday triple header. Morris dancing through the hole. Gets across the 30 and has a first down.
For Oregon.
Josh Line, the fullback, leads the way and got a nice block as Morris has another first down at the 40. How about the tight ends and backs joining the O-line here in this opening quarter? And more. Washington State's quarterback banged up, and no score after 15. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from your ABC station.
You gotta have fun. A little bit of celebrating does not bother me.
The game itself is fun. These are great athletes playing the game of football. That's a celebration. That's fun.
That's because you ain't got no rhythm, man.
It's about individuality, Chris.
It's called professional football. Act like a professional.
Stop talking about professional and organized and disciplined. They're kids. Let the kids have some fun.
I'll show you some fun.
Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Coach's room. Nice.
And we're back.
College Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Saturday mornings at 10:30 on ESPN.
He's a field goal kicker. What's so amazing about a field goal?
It's 63 yards under pressure.
Under pressure? Pressure? I never said more than 5 words to a field goal kicker in my life.
Like, go get me some water.
And hurry.
Guys, look, I got $40. Says none of y'all can hit from half that distance.
You got it.
I'll take that.
It's a bet.
Guys, believe you're up.
Pretty far.
Look at me, I'm a football. Look.
Feel so pretty inside.
Kirk, look, it's you and me.
I have to go. I'm sorry.
It's you and me, Kirk.
I'm a football. Look at me.
Kirk!
And we're back.
College Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Saturday mornings at 10:30 on ESPN.
But baseball is marking time. This field, this game, it's part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good and could be again. Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
Fresno State, maybe Kurt Kittner at Illinois.
Couple of tight ends with the one back, 2nd and 10. Morris got a block and got to the 38-yard line. Ryan Long and Billy Newman made the tackle. Well, the quarterback is getting the job done. He's got 3rd down coming up. They need to get to the 34. Harrington put it up. Parker broke free and couldn't adjust to the ball. Harrington couldn't hang in there because the pressure was coming. As we mentioned before, this is normally the drive. First drive every second quarter, every game we've seen Kegel. But there has been a game, David, where he had a little more action this year.
Yeah, against Oregon State, Gesser had a stomach injury, an abdominal injury early in that football game. Kegel came in for a series or two. Gesser came back, but then in the 3rd quarter, it became apparent Gesser couldn't go all the way, and State Beavers.
Henderson in motion. He can throw, has thrown 7 times in his career, and this is his 8th completion. The prior 7 have gone for touchdowns, and Kegel's on the run. Down to the 18. Colin Henderson now 8 for 8, 5 touchdowns in his career.
And this is a great catch in traffic. That's Wesley Mallard, number 18, and the free safety Keith Lewis, 2 great athletes. And how about Gesser going up and making this catch? Henderson gets his right foot set, throws back against pressure. And that's an acrobatic catch by a quarterback. You talk about an athlete.
Kegel made a great catch then.
Up with the big catch, but what an athletic play to go up against 2 defenders and make that grab in traffic.
Back on the field for 2nd and 7. A delay with Minnick. They ran right into the charging Ducks.
At least each ball game.
3rd and 10. We haven't seen Bush yet. Incomplete. He was looking for McElrath out of the slot. Mike Bush, the split end, hasn't caught a ball yet. Didn't have one thrown his way. From 34 yards. And the man who was put on scholarship a couple of weeks ago by Mike Price keeps earning his free ride.
Oregon, and you look at Oregon right now, they're going 2 tights, and that can slow down that pass rush from the defensive end.
Very active opening half for Sammy Parker. 1st down and more across the 35 into the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 after the pickup of 17. Ontario Smith turned the corner. Ontario Smith knocked out at the 35. 28 yards later, the Ducks have a 1st down.
For Mike Bellotti to take Maurice Morris out for a blow and bring in Ontario Smith. And this guy has huge talent. Transfer from Tennessee. 14-point lead in the 4th quarter. It looked like special teams was going to be the difference for the Ducks in that game, and ended up being the difference for Stanford.
Smith faked as though he was going to throw. I think that was intended for a pass. He kept it going and got out to the 31-yard line. The shot back. 3rd and 1 for Oregon. Harrington option. Took the hit and took it for a 1st down. Ball came out. It is a fumble. And Washington State had a chance at it when it looked like Oregon was going to recover first. But Reister, I should say, following the play, came up with it. Smith keeps going. Touchdown. Ontario Smith put Billy Newman's number 10 onto the turf at
And from behind Ontario Smith, watch him lower the shoulder pad, get his level down. As a strong safety, you're supposed to be able to take on a tailback in that situation. Smith with just brute force.
Answer from the Ducks. Washington State a field goal. Oregon a touchdown. And number 13 leads by 4. Who's the receiver who has the most in a single season? He's that man right there. Mike Levenseller, the offensive coordinator for this Washington State team in 1976 with Jack Thompson as the quarterback. He had 67 grabs.
Eddie Rain, as it picks up, is going to be a bigger factor in the passing game.
McElrath, they were wise to that. Keith Lewis, or rather Wesley Mallard was on that play, 18.
Going to get his pad level quite a bit lower.
3rd and a dozen. Mike Bush has caught nothing. He's at the bottom of the screen. Gesser's heated up, throws underneath and incomplete. Well, it's man coverage downfield. Everybody else has got 17 in their radar. The pass to Sammy Parker. Out at the 39, it's going to be 2 yards shy of the first down. On downs like this, 3rd and 1. Morris is stopped. Well, Billy Newman got run over on the
under Rich Brooks, and bringing extra players up to the line of scrimmage in this football game, the pressure from the linebackers has been the difference.
Gesser against a 4-man rush this time, gets it out to Riley, and Jerome powers forward against Rashard Bowman.
Back to the basics in practice this week.
3rd and a long couple. They'll try to run for it. Minute. First down across the 45 into the 47-yard line.
Catching the football, but good blockers.
Here comes the pressure. Gesser goes down. An athletic play by Kevin Mitchell to elude the block on the way out. 3rd and a dozen. Here comes the heat. Gesser's quick toss is incomplete. He tried to get Jerome Riley on the move, but he has not had any time to set and throw tonight, and that's one of the reasons Gesser's 6 for 14. A very, very low-scoring game, and the rain coming down in the Chili Palouse.
The Capital One Halftime Show, presented by Capital One, who asks, what's in your wallet? From Times Square Stadium in New York, John Saunders and Terry Bowden.
And welcome back, everyone. We told you UCLA lost earlier in the day, so obviously the door was wide open for a bunch of teams around the country because you knew either Oklahoma or Nebraska was going to end the day with a loss because of that head-to-head matchup in Lincoln. And what a matchup this one turned out to be. Oklahoma had won 20 straight games. Nebraska hadn't lost in 19 straight at home. Nate Hibble in at quarterback, 7 yards to Trent Smith here. And Hibble's in there, started the day as the backup because White got injured. 7-0 the score at that point. But then Nebraska puts together an impressive drive and comes back down and scores. And there's that pass by Hibble for the Trent Smith. Darren Dietrich here bunches this one in. And this man, Bobby Stoops, saying, can we make it to 21? And then this is the play that looked like it was going to go for a touchdown, but Hibble fell on the play. Now, Nebraska comes back, the identical play in the final quarter, and this one winds up being a touchdown to Crouch, who takes it 63 yards, and that was the difference, that big play. But, Terry, as you watch this game, the real difference was the experience of Eric Crouch.
That's right. A young quarterback for Oklahoma falls down when they call his number. Eric Crouch makes the catch and runs the touchdown. But the story was about defense. Both defenses played well, but Nebraska's played better.
20-10 is the final, so Oklahoma loses for the first time in 20 games. Nebraska's now won 20 straight at home. Okay, Virginia Tech, chance for them to move up, right? This is Syracuse, and Jamal Riddle returns the punt, 51 yards for the touchdown. Syracuse takes the lead in this game, and they would never give it up, leading 17-0 at halftime. Grant Knoll leads them back, 17 yards to Sean Witten here in the end zone, just over the defender, 20-14 the score there. But then this safety, as Knoll gets tackled in the end zone, and Syracuse wins for the 7th consecutive time after starting the season 0-2, and Virginia Tech their first loss of the year.
Virginia Tech had not played anybody, and they usually win the specialty teams and run the ball. They had a punt return for a touchdown today against them, and they did not rush as a team for even 100 yards.
Here's a look at the Bowl Championship Series standings in the top 5. Now, people down in Coral Gables, Miami, You're going to send me letters on this one, but look how far back Miami is right now of Oklahoma. Because of the loss, you only add one more point on to Oklahoma. And because Virginia Tech and UCLA lost, Oklahoma's likely not going to slide that far in the polls. I'm predicting that on Monday, Oklahoma with one loss is still going to be ahead of Miami in the BCS.
John, they very well may be, but if I'm Larry Coker at Miami and I'm his players, I don't pay attention. I don't listen. All I want to do is be undefeated. So if I'm the only undefeated team, I've got a gripe if I don't play for the championship.
All those computer polls out there, it's the Saunders computer that I'm following in this one. Maryland facing Florida State. Florida State with a couple of losses. Maryland had yet to be beaten here, but Bruce Perry here from 8 yards out, and Maryland regains the lead. They scored the first 2 touchdowns of this game, but Florida State late was too much. Chris Ricks, 28 yards to Tallman Gardner, and that broke open a 31-all tie. And then Ricks again, 22 yards to Javon Walker, and Florida State wins this one going away 52-31. Ricks 15 of 24, 350 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Well, Florida State usually has the turnovers. Maryland had the turnovers today. They had 4. Each one led to a touchdown, 28 points for Florida State.
All right, again, the first loss for the Terrapins. Still, Ralph Friedgen doing a tremendous job there. Ohio State facing Penn State. Zach Mills, the backup quarterback, forced in to start today. 69 yards in this run, a terrific run against Penn State to within 27-15. But Zach Mills was using his arm as well. 26 yards to Tony Johnson. Penn State suddenly is only down 27-22, and Joe Paterno says, I might yet get that win to pass the Bear. Zach Mills again, 14 yards to Eric McCoo. Touchdown, and that's it. Penn State on top. Joe Paterno, #1 all-time in Division I coaching victories.
You know, he had the team, they were down 18 points in the second half. He got this team to come back. He still got it.
Look at where Joe Pa stands right now, and your dad is also on this list. The Bear is in his sights next, but Joe Paterno, 324, one more than the Bear, and Joe Paterno in his 70s says, I'm having too much fun to think about stepping down.
And when every once in a while people say to me, you ought to get out of it, you ought to get out of it, and I'm like everybody else, every once in a while I think about it, and then I realize just how much it means to me and how many really absolutely great days I've had. I don't want to get out of it.
Yeah, they say you're hanging around young people, you stay young. Your dad's certainly testament to that, and Joe as well.
Both of these men are great for the game. I remember as a college football player standing across the sideline and just getting to play against him, and then at Auburn getting to coach against him. He beat me pretty bad.
All right, let's move along. South Carolina facing Tennessee, a couple of one-loss teams, and Lou Holtz trying to pull off this victory. If he gets this one, this is a team that could go far. Travis Stevens, though, 8 yards in for a touchdown. Tennessee scores first, but South Carolina comes back. Phil Petty, 7 yards to Derek Watson. Ties the game at 7 apiece. Casey Clausen, though, has led Tennessee back. They've scored again to lead 17-10.
These are the 2 best defenses in the SEC, but Tennessee probably has too many guns on offense for South Carolina to stop.
Travis Stevens already over 100 yards. Florida facing Georgia. And Steve Spurrier, well, he doesn't lose very often to Georgia, just once. Rex Grossman, 21 yards to Jabbar Gaffney, and Florida had a 10-3 lead. Rex Grossman again, this time he dives in, 1 yard for the touchdown, and Florida pulls off the win in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, 24-10.
And they had 4 turnovers. This score could have been a lot worse. Florida's just now starting to play like it was earlier in the season.
Look at the numbers on Grossman. Yes, he was picked off twice, but 27 of 35 for 407 yards. He's passed for at least 300 yards in every single game he's played this year. Still very much in the hunt for the Heisman Trophy. Stick around. We'll continue with more of the Capital One halftime show in a moment. Welcome back once again to Times Square and the Capital One halftime show. John Saunders here alongside of Terry Bowden. You had to feel with UCLA, Virginia Tech, and Oklahoma all losing today. The one-loss teams all started chomping at the bit, saying we are right back in the national championship hunt. One of those teams, Texas, and of course their only loss was to Oklahoma. Chris Sims struggled in that game. He has not struggled since.
No, he's thrown 12 touchdown passes since that loss to Oklahoma. Baylor, Kansas, Texas A&M is all they've got left.
He had 4 touchdown passes today. Now, you speak of Texas A&M. They were facing Iowa State today. Derek Farmer takes off 65 yards. He had 17 carries for 133 yards.
I tell you, they still run the ball well. Their defense is helping him. They've kind of stumbled into this one-loss season because they're not a very dominant team, but they keep on winning.
Winning this one by 3. Now, over in the SEC, Auburn, the last remaining unbeaten team in SEC play, facing Arkansas, and Arkansas hands it to him. Matt Jones, 21 yards to Richard Smith. Second straight week they give up 40-plus.
Devastating loss here. The defense has not come to play. They've been living on the edge. Won a lot of close ball games this year.
In the ACC, your brother Tommy, Clemson against Wake Forest. And they put it in the hands of Woody Dantzler, usually a good idea.
He rushes for over 100, passes for over 200, but it was the defense that came through today. That's what they needed.
Yeah, the defense had not been playing very well. Of course, they play father, your brother, Tommy, against your dad, Bobby. That happens next week. You'll see that here on ABC. Now, in the Big Ten, Michigan was the last team in conference play without a loss. Today, facing Iowa, it would be hard-pressed to keep that streak going. John Navarre goes 6 yards here to Marquise Walker. You want to see a great grab? How about that one?
Great catch. That's why he's one of the best receivers in the country. But John Navarre, although he had a couple of touchdown passes, a couple of interceptions too.
This one, though, into Sean Thompson. Two-point conversion was good. They win it 32-26 the final. Northwestern against Purdue. And the Boilermakers moving up and banging the drum loudly and with authority. Brandon Hance, the replacement for Drew Brees, looked like Brees here hitting Seth Morales.
Well, I'll tell you why the passing was so good, because they ran the ball again. Montrell Lowe is the first back this year at Purdue to rush for 100 yards.
Brandon Hance, 9 carries for 49 yards and 14 of 31 only for 190 yards, but the victory. This is the Capital One halftime show from New York.
Una nueva era en televisión deportiva está aquí. ESPN Deportes. Ahora ESPN es en español. Los domingos por la noche no se pierda Major League Baseball. Y muy pronto la NFL y boxeo. Los domingos por la noche, cada palabra en español. Toda la acción de los deportes se encuentra en ESPN. Presentado por quienes mejor lo hacen. ESPN Deportes. Los domingos a las 7:30.
Barkley for 3!
27-year-old Steffi Graf, Wimbledon champion.
The Super Bowl most valuable player is Troy Aikman.
1 second on the clock.
Dallas touchdown.
You know, athletes are pretty well known for their superstitions, but I gotta be honest, our guys can be pretty quirky too.
Oh, good show, Ken. You too.
There's this one time Brian had a great show, didn't bathe for 17 days straight.
This year, though, it's been a very different story.
The worst had to be when Dan spilled clam chowder, Manhattan clam chowder, all over Reese. Had his best show ever. Of course, that got old for Reese really quickly.
Yeah.
He's in makeup.
Okay.
As an anchor, you always want that complete show.
And coming up, a Did You Know about sports.
So, Ken, how you feeling?
I'm fine. Never better. I'm great. I can go. Just let me finish like that.
You'll get him next show.
Sometimes you don't have your best stuff, so you got to bring in a closer. We usually handle it like professionals.
Thanks a lot.
It's all part of the game.
You're on in 3, 2.
Welcome back to Sports Center. The subject.
Go pick me out a winner, Bobby.
Okay.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
4 remaining unbeatens. Washington State in trouble, down 4 at home as we get ready for the third quarter. Mike Tirico, David Norrie with you here in Pullman for both teams. Lowest scoring half of the season. A little bit of a surprise. Why do you think it was so low scoring, and what do you forecast here for the second half?
Well, I think all the teams losing in the top 10 earlier today, the importance of this game with Washington being one of the only 4 undefeateds left in the country, combined with the weather, has produced a situation here where running game is going to be important, defense, special teams. It's really going to turn into a field position game, I think, here in the second half.
It might favor Oregon as you look at these two teams. Here's what happened in the first half. Jason Gesser, the Washington State quarterback, his last play of the first quarter had the wind knocked out of him, was down for a few minutes on this scramble. So the backup quarterback, Matt Kegel, came in, and he caught the pass from Colin Henderson. It covered 63 yards, led to a field goal, Washington State's only score of the half. Oregon comes back on the ensuing drive, an 80-yard drive, mostly on the ground with Ontario Smith, who had 56 yards, including that touchdown. And that's how we've arrived at 7-3 Very low scoring for two high-scoring teams. Washington State averages 44 per game, leading the Pac-10, third in the country. Oregon averages 39 a game, fourth in the conference, 10th in the country. And you see the quarterbacks only completed 6 balls in that first half, David.
Yeah, not great numbers, but you look at the first half, again, with the rain coming down, getting steadily worse. I think the quarterbacks did a good job of taking care of the football.
Apple Cup, as they've had. First play of the half is Morris running to the right. Nice block down the sideline. Flag comes in as Morris is pushed out of bounds at the 46. Oh, I should say 2 and 2 here on the first 2 plays of the third quarter. Tough one.
And Morris had the corner. And the penalty came outside. Big number 75, Corey Chambers, the right tackle, had it both hands.
And loud for 3rd and 15. They run Smith. Makes 3 men miss. And the 4th. And he has the first down. Spectacular run by the sophomore from Sacramento.
About the talent of number 2 Ontario Smith. He had to sit out a year coming from Tennessee, but he played quite a bit as a true freshman down in Knoxville. Decided to come out to the West Coast, and you get no drop-off when you go with Ontario Smith subbing in for Maurice Morris.
Oh, what moves. That was all number 2. 1st and 10 for the Ducks. Harrington throws to Willis. Jason Willis, 5 to the 30. What to say about that? 3rd and 5 against the Heat. First down pass to Parker, depending on the mark. Comes the back official in to help with the spot.
It's never objective. It's a very subjective thing when the side judge, a field judge, is marking that forward progress.
The way it's being called the last few years, that was a good call. Ontario Smith has room to run. Spinning across the 45. Knocked down at the 47.
Hot.
New left tackle in the game, Adam Snyder. In for Adams. Harrington throws. It's complete to Jason Willis. It's another first down. Right in front of Jason David, the corner. But a good. Oregon looking to add to a 4-point lead. The tight end, Reister, has it at the 41. Stood up there. And he can't get back to the original line of scrimmage. 19 for Harrington. Couple of runs for 21 yards. Washington State brings the heat. Smith is free. Ontario Smith, touchdown! And he jumps to the Duck faithful who've come from Eugene. A flag goes down after that celebration. And a jump into the end zone, doing the Palouse pull-up instead of the Lambeau leap to the Oregon faithful in this bad weather, but it's going to cost them 15.
Wrong stadium.
But what a run by Smith as they were bringing the heat.
Ontario, you're supposed to do that down at Autzen, but what a burst of speed. And if you don't hit Ontario Smith low and you let him get up ahead of steam as a running back, he's going to be awfully tough to find in the secondary. We saw
10 plays, 89 yards. Ontario Smith takes it to the house. 89 yards over 5:46 of this third quarter. Oregon now has 243 rushing yards, and that's against the top rush defense in the Pac-10. And the total yardage difference now 193 for the road team.
Gesser not getting much help from the run game. Defenders, numbers, he's going to have to get it done with the pass.
He nearly lost the ball, and they're going to rule that he had a knee on the ground when he picked it back up. It's going to be a loss of a few yards and 3rd and about 9.
Well, Oregon
this year averages 20 per catch, nothing in this game. Gesser finally has time to Bush, and he fell down. So they finally try to go to the basketball star at 6'6". He's been a difference maker for this team this year. Fell down. Should be like this. Cold, raw, wet, nasty. And Oregon up 11 and running the ball like you need to in this weather. Maurice Morris to the 44. And they are just absolutely flattening Washington State in the ground game. 17 there.
Yeah, it's just a matter of Oregon lining up and saying, we are going to run the football. Can you stop us? Last run, Allows Joey Harrington to go with the more conservative passes as well when he wants to put it up.
Changed the cadence. Washington State got back and nearly got an interception. Pass intended for Howery, and right there was Jason David, the sophomore. Empty the backfield, even though there's a running back and tight end in the game. They blitz off the corner. The quick pass to Parker. Gains nothing. Pass down here, 3 and 9, needing to get to the 37. They bring the heat. Gesser throws. It's complete for a first down at the 40. Jerome Riley. Catch 3 on the night for the junior.
And that may end up being one of the key plays of this ballgame.
Lewis didn't play last week, sprained left ankle. Great to have him back for the Ducks here. 3rd and 10. Gesser's pass is broken up by Steve Smith. So it's ability, but not the polish of an experienced wide receiver.
It takes time to learn how to run pass routes, and oftentimes years.
Dylan Cox's kick was not his best of the night and starts rolling back the other way. And is finally down to the 37-yard line. The worst punt of the evening for Cox, just 24 yards. It's been the run game with Ontario Smith and Maurice Morris, but a whole lot of crimson and gray coming at number 2, led by Al Genatone, the middle order. 2nd and 10. Harrington on the pump and go for Howery. He brought it in. Still going and down at the 35, pickup of 27 yards.
Harrington does a super job on the fade route here. He's going to get a pump fake from Howery, sets up the defender, and then the ball's delivered to the outside. Beating.
Nice inside handoff, big opening. Morris. Oh, he hurt himself. May have pulled a hamstring as he comes down at the 9-yard line. You can see Maurice Morris was kicking it into another gear and started to grab for that left hamstring. Maybe cramped, and not only looks like a cramp, so it's good news for Oregon. 1st and goal. Harrington keeping. He's just going to slide down at the 6. Mike Bellotti looked very unhappy. He was disconcerted there at the snap. On 2nd and goal, Ontario Smith reads the blocks, powers forward. No signal. He's right at the goal line. Just looks to be short. It's going to be 3rd and inches for a touchdown when this 4th quarter gets started.
Tremendous power by Ontario Smith, and I think they're going to let the clock run out. But
1 first down for Washington State. They only had the ball for 4 minutes. Oregon leads 14-3. They're knocking on touchdown's door. An ABC Sports presentation of college football is going to continue after this message and a word from your ABC station.
Every Wednesday night from 9 to 11 is Wednesday Night College Football. It's Game of the Night, only on ESPN Classic. Classic rivalries. Touchdown! Classic legend. Classic bowl.
The Snake does it again. Touchdown, Nebraska.
The only place to be for the greatest games in college football is ESPN Classic. Wednesday Night College Football. Every Wednesday night from 9 to 11.
Hey, Boilermaker.
Yeah?
Got my curve breaking 2.5 feet.
Oh, yeah? Then you have been practicing, huh? But don't give me no baloney about a curve breaking 2.5 feet, though.
For how much?
$10?
Make it 20.
We got a bet.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
A great slugger we haven't got.
A great pitcher we haven't got.
A great ball club we haven't got. What have we got?
We've got heart. All you really need is heart. When the odds are saying you'll never win, that's when the grin should start.
Now you're getting the idea.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
Time yet? How much time do we have?
Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Saturday mornings at 10:30 on ESPN.
He's a field goal kicker. What's so amazing about a field goal?
It's 63 yards under pressure.
Under pressure?
Pressure?
I never said more than 5 words to a field goal kicker in my life.
Like, go get me some water. And hurry.
Guys, look, I got $40. Says none of y'all can hit from half that distance.
You got it. I'll take that. It's a bet.
Guys, believe you're up.
Pretty far. You gotta have fun. A little bit of celebrating does not bother me.
The game itself is fun. These are great athletes playing the game of football. That's a celebration. That's fun.
That's because you ain't got no rhythm, man.
It's about individuality, Chris. It's called professional football. Act like a professional.
Stop talking about professional and organized and disciplined. They're kids. Let the kids have some fun.
I'll show you some
fun.
Oh, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Harrington, Ontario Smith, not even touched until he's in, but a marker's down. A marker's down from the sideline against Oregon. Otherwise, the lead will be 18 and 3 scores. Harrington runs. It is nothing there for Smith. A pretty big play. James Price, the linebacker, I believe, is the man who's was a third down stop, and now Jared Sigalon for the field goal try. Hasn't attempted one since the Utah State game a month ago. 4 of 7 on the year. And this one from 22 yards. Out of the Harrington hole, it is perfect. And the freshman Siegel gives Mike Bellotti's team a 14-point lead.
And that procedure penalty was a big one. Oregon 6 inches away from scoring and had to settle for the field goal. I guess there's got to start putting the ball up here pretty quickly in the pass game.
Try a quick hitter with Minnick. Takes it out to the 32-yard line.
A chunk on each play. They got to move the chains, hit some of the underneath and intermediate routes, and get a drive going.
Third down, they need to get to the 38 for the first down. The pass is complete. Despite the blanket, almost interference-type coverage from Bowman, Henderson comes up with the grab.
Bowman did arrive early, and that should have been a flag.
And 5'8", he's shorter than most, but he goes after it, makes up for it in intensity. Quick hitter with Minnick, that's a good gain. Out to the 48.
Second, fourth down, and they may want to go for it if they don't pick it up on this down.
Try to run and get it. Minnick got it, more. First down, and much more. Doesn't have the speed to break it all the way, but took it down to the 15.
Well, Minnick finds a crease, and there have not been many creases tonight for the run game for Washington State. That's Wesley Mallard, number 18. He's a linebacker, and he's on the 4x100-meter team, track team.
Minnick. It's 1st and 10. Can Wazoo get a touch? Gesser, incomplete. There's the flag on Bowman. McElrath was trying to get free. Again, there's 7 inches of height difference there.
Well, Bowman plays such an aggressive style. In the right place at the right time.
2nd and goal. There they go, splitting them out. Maybe we'll use the size advantage. Minnick over the top. And possession crossing the goal line. Touchdown Wazoo. The Marine Minnick leads them. Takes them over the top. Settle in, here we go. 7-point game in the Pac-10 with 11:28 to go. In the Palouse. Smith keeps going, he made more men miss and he's free. Ontario Smith, an angle on him and he's pushed out at the 45 by Eric Coleman. But the running of Ontario Smith has been the story here tonight. 6. 2 tight ends, 1 back. Howry got a block from Parker. Nowhere to go. Gain of 1. 3rd and about 5 coming up. Oh, the ball came free and it belongs to Wazoo! Oregon can't believe it. Belotti's out there, so is Harrington.
He secures the football, it's a catch. And then the reverse spin gets him into trouble. And that ball did come out. That might have been Al Genito, the middle linebacker, with the strip. No, it was Jason David.
Wow. Empty backfield. See if Oregon heats him up. Here come 5-on-5. The blocking's there. Gesser has time. It's caught. McElrath. First down, Cougars. Interesting 4-down territory thought. You don't have to make the decision just yet. Mike hopes he doesn't have to.
Definitely something to think about, though, and you want to be thinking in advance.
Well, they tried the quick hitter with John Tippins, who's not done anything on the ground tonight. And he's stopped by Darrell Wright and company. Now it's not 4th and, well, let's see it. They may have just given forward progress here, and it would be 4th and 6. They're going to punt it away. Win producer Jim Ressler, Mike Tirico, David Norrie. Glad you've joined us for, as advertised in terms of competitive nature of the game, much lower scoring, thanks in part to the wind-blown rain that has fallen throughout here in Pullman. From the 20, it's Ontario Smith, who's been the star tonight. 7 to the 27. Maurice Morris still sidelined. There's a $138. Smith 186. Adds to it on 2nd and 3 with a lot more than 3. With a lot more than 3. Might go all the way. Ontario Smith, what a game! Touchdown!
73-yard touchdown. Ontario Smith.
Siegel. Bobby Moore, better known as Ahmad Rashad, used to have the record, but now it's Ontario Smith. Most rushing yards in a game by a Duck. 259, including this 73-yard touchdown. When the then known as Bobby Moore had 249 yards. Here goes Ontario Smith on his way to a school record 259.
Not one, but 2 cutbacks to the right set up the run, and the acceleration from almost a standstill position in the backfield, that's unbelievable.
Wazoo will have 70 yards to go, 3 timeouts, 5:26 left.
Watch the 2 cuts, the left foot plant and then again to the outside. And that is some kind of acceleration. Ontario Smith has been the difference maker and has shocked this Washington State crowd.
There you see the record performance. Gesser on first down. Looking for the answer. Bush breaks wide free. He caught it at the 20. Still going. And down at the 9.
Get this far behind the secondary with a 14-point lead and 5 minutes to go. That's Webster, number 22, the free safety, number 6, Smith. And they're beat by a good 6 to 8 yards.
That ball couldn't come down quick enough for him.
He could almost made a fair catch signal.
62 yards on the pass and catch from Gesser to Bush. Pitch Minnick. Nice play by Kevin Mitchell, sophomore, Orange, California. Marker in as well. Over on the side where the play was being run. Then we knew we had a guy who could be a team leader. We knew the skill was there, but he saw it. He wanted to beat Hawaii so bad because a lot of people were unhappy he left the islands. Quick hit is caught. Nice move by Riley. And another one. And Riley scores! Wow! We had about a minute ago. 1 touchdown lead for Oregon.
Future for Jerome Riley. Took a hitch about 60 yards against Cal earlier this year. Gave the offensive coaches an idea of what he could do, and how about the 2 broken tackles? You can't do a better job of running after a catch in a big situation than Riley just did. And it looked like this game might have been over after the Smith.
Ontario Smith, the record holder, takes it across the 25 and just pounds people getting near the 30. They want the ball out. 2nd and inches. Smith has the first down across the 30 to the 32-yard line. If they can get those linebackers and safeties even closer. Two's getting the ball. Here he comes. First contact made after 4 yards. Washington State will let the clock run down. Who have stayed here through miserable weather tonight. 2nd and 5. Steady dive to Smith. Still making men miss. He is right at the marker. It's very close to a first down at the 2:18 mark. Joey Harrington tried to do it. They run with Smith, who's stopped and pulled down. Ryan Long pulled him down. Got a left fistful of jersey. Wazoo stops the clock and stops Oregon with 94 seconds to go. 55 yards on 26 carries. We can comfortably say Ontario Smith and Jason Gesser has been solid here in the second half after nothing was available in the first half. And all in all, good decision by the referee.
Taking a look at the Cougar 2-minute offense over the course of the year. 14 drives, and 19 of those drives run the clock down. Gesser underneath center.
First play. Down the middle. There goes McElrath. Couldn't get out of bounds. He's out at the 37.
Wide receiver on Gesser's ball.
Good mention of the weather. It's raining as hard as it has all evening in Pullman. Gesser for more. For McElrath again. Couldn't get out of bounds. Got 9 yards.
Play here to take another chunk of yardage down the field.
Gesser. Out. Bush. First down. 48-yard line. 3rd and 10. From under center. Gesser steps up. Bush at the 30. 25. It's a first down. The clock will stop with 21 to go. In 10. Here is Gesser. Passes caught by McElrath at the 7. 13 seconds, 1 timeout. Trying to keep the perfect season alive. He lost so many close games last year. They have a chance to force one to OT. Gesser for 6-6. Bush incomplete. Get out of the pocket. Here he is in the pocket. He's looking. He fires incomplete. It should have been intercepted. With 930 yards. It comes to one play. It's lofted for Bush. It's incomplete. Oregon wins. And a 5th unbeaten has fallen on this Shakedown Saturday 2001. Change greetings on a night when it wasn't Harrington, but the record night of running, 446 yards. Mike Bellotti's team, which lost a heartbreaker at home last week. First loss since '97 at home, comes back for a huge win and has reopened the Pac-10 story.
Well, Washington State got what they wanted on that last play. They